Hello, welcome to Marla Guides, aka Third Eye, and I'm back here with another channel message. How's it going? Girl, it is currently 1:33 in the morning, and I cannot go to sleep. I've been laying down trying to go to sleep, but I started getting downloads. I was like, damn, I need to get this out. So, first, I am seeing like a baby witch, right? Someone who is aware of this is somebody who is a I would say who's aware of like spirituality and like magic. It's probably this is I'm seeing this person does like hoodoo, like so more of like an African spiritual practices, stuff like that, voodoo and stuff like that. Um and I'm getting a female. And and intuitively I heard my magic, it's not working, or my magic, it stopped. And then I see like a person like looking at their hand, right? Like what's wrong? I'm seeing a female try to do magic on another female, and this female tried to cloak her energy in someone else's energy. And she was successful. But then the magic started wearing off because the person who she tried to cloak their energy with as her own, that person started to wake up more to their power, to their own power. Because this person is powerful. And this other feminine, is powerful. And this other person wanted to take this person's power. This person tried to cloak herself in another woman's energy to be seen as more desirable, to be seen like the first pick, to be seen as divine. Basically, everything that the other woman is, she wanted it to be. That's why 333 on my clock, as I said that, that's why she cloaked her energy in the other woman's energy. Because she wanted to be seen like a divine feminine. And it worked for a little while. But the thing is, she played in magic and witchcraft. And when you start manipulating the energy and stuff, people with magic, it's always a price to pay. When you start doing love spells on people, it starts messing up the energy flow, the frequency. I am totally picking up on this lady, this woman, this girl. She did a love spell on a masculine. And this masculine was in love with another woman. or was interested in another woman. But this other woman that get the magic came in and was jealous and envious and wanted to take this masculine for herself because she thought this masculine was a divine being, a divine masculine, sorry. But this man wasn't a divine masculine. He looked divine, but he was nothing but karmic. So she thought she was taking a divine masculine from a feminine when she actually took a karmic. This masculine, even though the female did magic on him, he also started to disregard this woman, the first woman, the real divine feminine, once the other woman came and what's the word? Made herself known before the magic started happening. The illusions, the magic is about to wear off, and the karmic female is going to be exposed for who she really is as a karmic, a liar, a deceiver, basically evil, a Jezebel. And this masculine is going to be exposed as a karmic who pretends to be a divine being, a divine masculine, when he's really just a karmic. And this divine feminine, she is walking away healed, happy, abundant, and she is going to get her true divine masculine. She's literally walking into the arms of a true divine masculine, not a false, like a false twin flame or a false. This was a lesson for for the divine feminine. This was really a lesson from the the universe, because this was a lesson on discernment, because this divine feminine has a great amount of discernment, but when it's new levels, it's new devils. So this divine feminine had to really observe and pay attention to the fine print of a person to see who is true, who are they, like who's this person, like who they really are, basically. I can't even get what I want to say. Like the this karmic masculine who pretended to be divine. He wears a mask and he pretends to be this divine masculine when he's a karmic. But this man is so good at pretending that you wouldn't even notice. But then, like I said, this divine feminine, she has the gift of discernment. She can see, she feels, and she knows. She observed everything she needed to know, and she realized that this was a karmic. But it was also another man that's going to be coming in, that's subtle right there, kind of in the background, who you would think this man is a karmic, right? He looks like he's karmic. And maybe this man has some toxic ways. No one's perfect, but this man has a good heart underneath the his outside appearance, you know. Because if you put this divine masculine and the false divine masculine by each other, it's clearly going to be one's going to be picked to believe that they are the divine masculine because of outer appearance. But the one who you think is a divine masculine is actually the karmic. It's a trickster spirit. The real divine masculine doesn't look like a divine masculine. That's why this was a lesson on discernment for the divine feminine, to realize who was the true emperor, who was the true divine masculine. It's not just about looks, it's about energy, it's about aura, it's about the frequency, it's about actions. Action that was taken, action that wasn't taken. It was clearly who was who. And this divine feminine, she observed both these divine well, I can't say both these masculine, to see who was the real divine masculine, the true emperor. Because the emperor embodies all four kings in the tarot deck. And the divine feminine, like I said, has the gift of discernment, learned the lesson, and found out that the masculine who don't look like a divine masculine is actually the true emperor, the true divine masculine. And the thing is, this divine feminine had magic placed on her to confuse her, to block her third eye and stuff like that, so that she will pick wrong. But this was a test for the divine feminine to use her gift of discernment. If she would have picked the false divine masculine, she would be in a great amount of pain. And this divine feminine has been through pain so much before. It's like I'm intuitively, this is what I'm getting. This feminine, divine feminine, been in so much pain before, that if she would have went to this karmic masculine, if she would have picked this karmic masculine, she would have to rebuild herself back up again. But gladly she picked the true divine masculine, someone who understands her pain, someone who understands her depth, someone who understands her for everything that she is, inside and out. See, the other karmic masculine was way more superficial. Superficial, 3D, limited belief system, just very stuck in her ways. The other divine masculine, well, I can't say other divine masculine, the other masculine, intuitive, in tune, spiritually in tune, tapped in. Yes, materialistic, yes, but they know it's more to life than just materialism. Hardworking, caring, protector, someone who knows and feels and sees beyond the normal, the normal human. It was two different type of masculines, and one fits the divine feminine so perfect because they're literally twins, soulmates, and one that are literally so opposite of each other that it wouldn't even make sense, even though it looked like it should make sense. It wouldn't make sense. On the outside, one looks so polished and look like it would be first choice. but that's just based off appearance. But if we was going based off internally, um, morals and values and integrity, and stuff like that, the other masculine would be picked. And I'm not saying the other masculine is ugly. The other masculine is very handsome, very good looking. Don't get me wrong; they're both very handsome, but it's not about looks. That was the whole lesson for the divine feminine, to use her gift of discernment, to figure out who was the true divine masculine. Even though the other woman did magic on the false divine masculine, she did this divine feminine a favor, because that was a karmic to the divine feminine. You helped the divine feminine make the pick so much easier for herself. Sorry. Other masculine, the karmic, he was an energy vampire. He just wanted to drain and suck the life out of you without returning, without reciprocating. Just always expect to be having stuff handed to them and catered to. This was a narcissist. That's why I said earlier that if this divine feminine, picked this masculine, that she will have to build herself back up, because a narcissist would break you down, and build you back up. That's what a narcissist would do. If she would have picked that man, the karmic, she would have to build herself back up, because that man, the narcissistic man, will literally um tear her down. And that's what he's going to do to the other feminine. But that's her karma, because she resulted into magic, to witchcraft, to take something that was not hers, but guess what? It was an illusion. It wasn't hers, and it wasn't this divine feminine's either. Her karma is going to be treated wrong, because she isn't the person that this karmic masculine wants. This karmic masculine is obsessed with this divine feminine energy. He's going to start treating the other feminine disrespectfully, like disrespectful, because she's not the divine feminine. She don't got the energy. She's a false divine feminine. And I'm tired as heck. I'm sorry, because I'm probably not like, I know my words and stuff is like mixing up, but I just have to get this message out. But yeah, this karmic masculine is going to treat the karmic feminine like a karmic, because she's not the true divine feminine, and she doesn't have the true essence of the divine feminine. He needs the essence, he needs the energy in order to thrive, in order um to feel better, in order to, prosper and thrive. He's going to feel depleted because he doesn't have the good energy that he needs. But that's not the divine feminine's fault. That's not her problem. The divine feminine is literally going to be walking in another relationship with the true divine masculine. And she's not going to have to worry about this divine masculine trying to tear her down, trying to belittle her, or trying to take energy from her. No, this masculine is going to build her up, elevate her, compliment her. Is literally this, like, the bodyguard, the protector, the lover. This masculine is literally going to protect Queen, his goddess. That's what he's going to do. And like I said, this masculine, he's in tune, he's aware, he's consciously aware, he's spiritually aware. He knew it was a test. but it was a test for the divine feminine. He knew it was a test. He couldn't do anything because he was more aware about this situation than the divine feminine. But he couldn't overstep a boundary because he knew that it was a lesson that the divine feminine needed to learn about discernment. Because he has a great amount of discernment. But it was for the divine feminine, it was her turn to go through this test about discernment and to see who was the right pick, the right choice. And I know the divine masculine, I know he probably was anxious and sad and frustrated that the divine feminine didn't make the proper choices at first. But like I said, it was magic being done on her and other parties. But the divine feminine woke up. The divine feminine, the magic wore off. Like I said, the illusion started to break. And the divine feminine started to really see the truth of the individuals in this situation. And the divine masculine knows that this divine feminine sees the truth in this situation. And now he can relax because she sees the truth. She used her discernment. She learned her lesson. This divine feminine is going to be happy. It's going to get her happily ever after moment with this divine masculine. And he is going to get his happily ever after moment with this divine feminine. These are two individuals who share the same soul that's coming into each other's life as one, who's been through a lot of similar things, who had their heart broken, who they kind of for like X'd out love and fuck love type energy because they both been hurt and betrayed by people who they cared about, lovers, friends, family, don't matter. They've both been hurt and they both know what it's like to have to build themselves back up after going through challenges. This masculine sees this feminine who've been through challenges build herself back up and not give up. And he respects it because he knows that it took a lot to do that. He sees this divine feminine as a warrior, as a fighter, and he is proud to have this feminine as his counterpart, as his divine counterpart, as his soulmate, as his twin. He is proud to have somebody like that. It's saddens him. It makes him sad because he knows that this divine feminine had to go through so much pain in her life in order for her to be in this type of energy, in order for her to embody this type of energy. He knows she had to go through a lot, and he respects her. He doesn't want to hurt her. He doesn't want to add burdens to her. He just wants to uplift her and love her and treat her like she is supposed to be treated, like a divine feminine, like a goddess that she is. Like I said, this divine masculine had toxic ways, the divine feminine had toxic ways, but they've both been healing. This whole process of the divine feminine using her discernment and learning her lessons about the truth, who is the truth divine masculine, they had to do this divine masculine's been doing healing on his own part in the background. Or this divine feminine has been learning her lesson when it comes to stuff like this. The divine masculine has been doing healing so that he could come in union with the divine feminine. Like they both had their own lessons and things that they need to go through. So while the divine feminine was occupied learning her lesson, Divine Masculine had to go and learn his lesson as well. He had to go on his own journey and find himself a little bit and come back as a brand new masculine, come back as a healthier, a whole masculine, you know. Yeah, this whole situation was literally about the gift of discernment. And then if you want something, you know that saying, if you love something so much, if it's meant to be released, no, what did they say? If it's meant to be, release it, and then they'll come back. So these two counterparts had to release each other for some time. They had to go into separation for some time to both do healing work, external work. They had their own chapter, their own path that they need to go down to do some work on themselves so that they could come back together as one and that could actually truly celebrate as one. Oh, I'm getting tired. I'm not even using no tarot cards. This is straight off the dome. Off the dome. I don't need no card for this, man. These two counterparts, they had to go separate. They had to go their separate ways in order to heal so that they can come back together as one. The divine masculine has some things that he needs to work through and work on in order for him to actually truly be connected to this divine feminine. And this divine feminine, excuse me, confirmation, had to go through some healing work and had to go through this lesson of discernment. If just because they look nice or they look well put together don't mean they're put together internally. This divine feminine has passed a major test in her life, and now she's about to be rewarded for being obedient and to listening to the signs, the synchronicities that the universe and her spirit guides have been whispering and showing her. This divine feminine is about to go on a journey with her counterpart. And it's gonna be scary for both of them because they've both been hurt. They both been hurt before, but they're ready. They're ready to come into union. It's just a matter of time. And now everything is playing out how it should be. The karmic feminine, the karmic masculine, they're perfect for each other. They're karmic. They they both thought they were getting jackpot when reality it's an empty pot. The masculine thought he was getting jackpot, empty pot. The karmic feminine thought she was getting jackpot, empty pot. And they're gonna be stuck and bound with each other, even by a pregnancy or by a incurable STD. They're gonna be bound with each other. And that's their karma. That's her karma for being greedy. That's his karma for being what's the word? Not selfish, but like judgmental. Because he thought the karmic masculine thought the karmic feminine was better. And he treated the true divine feminine as a peasant, as less than. His lesson: never judge by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. Her lesson: stop being greedy because the outcome is not going to be what you think it is. In the Divine Feminine lesson, to always look at the fine print. That's the message.